Well, good morning. A wonderful Sunday morning to all of you. It's the Lord's Day. How wonderful to have the Lord's Day once again, a day when we can set aside just the day to worship Him in His house. And so I hope that you are able to do that today. And if you're not able, I hope that you will find a place on the internet or on television where He is truly worshiped and His word is taught and preached, and where you can be edified, and that you will enjoy that today and spend time with God. Well, if you saw the title, it says electromagnetic radiation. And I'm sure you thought, wow, where's that in the Bible? That is all over the Bible. I want to talk to you about light. Light? What is light? Light is electromagnetic radiation. In fact, visible light is electromagnetic radiation within the portion of the electromagnetic spectrum that is perceived by the human eye. In other words, the light you see is the light that is this electromagnetic radiation that you can see. That's what they said. They just said it in such a way that they sound really smart. Webster gives us a definition, and they always put the most common definition first. And they say that light is something that makes vision possible. You see, when you think about light, that's generally what you think. Turn on the light. Why? So I can see. Well, the Bible talks about light. It talks about two kinds of light. The first light that it talks about is really a manifestation of God. It starts in Genesis chapter 1, verse 3. He says, "And God said, let there be light. And there was light." Now, understand that was before He created the sun, the moon, and the stars in verses 14 through 19 on the fourth day. So light was created before what we consider the sources of light, the sun, the moon, the stars, I know the moon's a reflector, were created. So it must have been a little bit different kind of light. But basically, before God, or either before creation, God existed, we know that. But after He created the heavens and the earth, He created this thing that we're talking about here called light. This is this light is the light of the glory of God. Is a unique light. It's created not in, let's say, the visible spectrum, but in the supernatural spectrum that is visible to the spirit of man. Something that would minister and speak to man of who God is. The second light that He created is the electromagnetic kind, the physical kind. So we have physical light and we have spiritual light. And God made both lights so that man could see. He made these lights for man who assumed, both these lights were created before man, yet they were created for man, for when God did create man. And in 1 John chapter 1, verse 5, it says, God is light, and in Him is no darkness at all. Light and darkness cannot coexist in the same place and at the same time. God saw to that in Genesis 1:4. It says, "And God saw the light, that it was good, and God divided the light from the darkness." So originally, when the light was created, it was dispersed. Kind of like, if you take a flashlight and shine it up in the sky and you don't see anything, the electromagnetic energy just disperses. But God concentrated the light. And when the light is concentrated, the darkness must flee. There is no darkness where there is light. Well, Jesus said something about this. And if you'll turn, or if you'll just listen, to Matthew chapter 5, starting in verse 14, and part of the Sermon on the Mount, He said, "Ye are the light of the world. A city that is set on an hill cannot be hid. Neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel, but on a candlestick, and it giveth light unto all that are in the house. Let your light so shine before men, that they may see your good works, and glorify your Father which is in heaven. So what's he saying? He's saying that we are light, but this is the spiritual light. We're not electromagnetic energy. He made us to be light as he is light. It is essentially his light shining from within us. So this would be speaking to Christians, not to the lost. It is a spiritual light, and we are to be a spiritual light to a dark spiritual world. The world is in darkness, and we always associate darkness with evil and with Satan and with things that should not or cannot or do not want to be seen. But remember, darkness and light cannot exist in the same place at the same time. So if you are light, then the darkness must flee from you. So as his light to the world, our lives will drive that darkness from the area to which he sends us. And then he talks about a city set on a hill. You know what he's saying in that example is, a city set on a hill cannot help but be seen. Light will be seen in darkness. The only way a light is not seen is if there is a greater light. And that makes sense because God is a greater light and we should disappear into him and his glory and he should be known, not ours. But the city on the hill example tells us that our light in this dark world will be seen because we are light. You can't help it. If you're in a dark room and you strike a match, the light from that match is easily seen. And it gives light, some. But that light is seen. It also tells us that men don't light a candle and put it under a bushel to hide it. And there he's telling us that God created us with purpose. He made us a light. And he didn't create us as a light to be hidden. He wants us to be seen. He expects us to be seen. And in the previous verse, he tells us we will be seen. God's purpose cannot be defeated. Darkness cannot take over light. We ourselves cannot even defeat God's purposes. So as light, he wants us to be seen, and we will be seen. So our job, and the reason that he has us here, is to allow the light he shines through us to be known and declared openly before men. And this is done how? He said, through our good works. What good works? How do we do good works? Well, it gets back to what he said. The love of God shown through our behavior and attitudes towards others. That's our good works. And if we love God and love others, they will see God in us. They will not see us because we are not good, but God is good. And the goodness they see will be the light that God shines through us. What did he say were the two great commandments? Love God and love others. On these two hang all the law and the commandments. So if we love God with all our heart, soul, and mind, and we love our neighbors ourselves, then we've kept the law. We've been the light to a dark world, and we're doing what God has called us to do. So remember today, you're a light. You shine and chase the darkness away around you. That is God's purpose for your life. Remember that today. Remember it every day. God bless you. Have a wonderful day. Be the light. You are the light. Let that light so shine before men that others may see God in you. God bless you, my friends. Have a great day. Worship God today. Be in his house if you can. See you next time.